So in life, you generally have two kinds of people, right? You have people who generally view things negatively and people who view things positively. And while a few people are in between, a lot of times people have opinions about whether life is great or it's not. And I can see really the rationale behind both ways of thinking. Because if you're having a bad day, to suddenly try to put on a smile and be positive seems sort of weird. And if you're somebody who wants to stay positive in order to be positive and have a positive life, I can see that too. Well, John Kehoe wrote a very interesting perspective on why it is that it may make sense to change the narrative or the story that's running in your unconscious. And what he said was that once we establish a negative impression of life, we will continue to want to prove to ourselves that life is that way so that we can be right about the narrative that we've established. And what he said was that if you change that narrative sincerely, if you deeply contemplate the fact that there are in fact good things that happen, that good things do happen to you, and if you change this narrative and this expectation, your mind will then want to start proving that life is that way. And what we do know from brain science research is that the brain is often oriented toward wanting to prove what you already believe. So there's, I think, a pretty decent reason why, if you have a narrative that's running in your unconscious that's negative, you might want to just look at that story and ask yourself, is it possible to rewrite my impression of life so that my brain will want to prove to me that life is in fact pretty awesome? Now, I'm not implying that this is some kind of magic and it's going to come out of the ether, but I am implying that that particular thought and line of research is worth contemplating.